My father had many strengths for surviving a lifetime of child abuse by his mother, now deceased Jill Woolby, survived by my grandfather Leonard Woolby in Valinda, California. My father was accused of child molestation, and while I was not sexually assaulted, I was abused and forced to walk around naked for his enjoyment. What made it worse is that everybody in school knew my father was a child molester. June of 1984, I finished my sophomore year. I participated in FFA. I had full chores which included taking care of 3 pigs, 20 chicken, 4 dogs, 2 horses and 1 tard coon cow Peaches who I milked each day at 5:30 am. I also helped my father on weekend by going into the Cholla forest to bring home 3 cord of standing dead wood with U.S. Forest Service timber permits, which the next day we drove to Spokane and sat with a sign on the front of our 1955 Chevy dually truck and waited for somebody to buy the wood at $120 a cord. I had a worm farm and made money selling worms. I used my money to buy a 1968 Yamaha snowmobile. My father was a warrior and sold real estate. I moved back to California to Montclair to live with my mother and new stepfather Stephen, who was angry most of the time, and he was recovering from a cocaine addiction and bankruptcy. My mother was his 3rd wife named Brenda. While he might sound like a douche, he's really not all the time. He makes my mother happy, and that made me happy. I worked during high school at Ole's hardware store and was on the swim, water polo and diving team. I bought a BMW 320 used which led to my career at Savage BMW that paid for community college at Mount Sac. I was a mortgage banker for 4 years, sold commodities for 4 months at Monex, then sold BMW, Land Rover and Porsche at different dealerships in Newport Beach and Marin, California. In the fall of 1999, I quit my job to go to work for Wayne. No consulting, I decided to go into the software business. I pioneered many early